Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Informed in 5. Today's guest is Lisa Long. She is a research associate at the Social Sciences Research Center at Mississippi State University, working with the Mississippi Thrive Child Health and Development Project. Lisa has a master's degree in international educational development from Columbia University, and today she'll be sharing information about Mississippi Thrive and how they seek to improve the lives of children in Mississippi. Thank you so much for joining me today, Lisa.
I'm so excited to be here and to have a chance to talk about Mississippi Thrive. The Child Health and Development Project, also known as Mississippi Thrive, is aiming to promote the developmental and behavioral health of children from birth to 5 years of age. And we're also working to increase the number of developmental screenings that take place at well child checks and provide free resources and training to families, healthcare providers, and early childhood educators, childcare providers, and early elementary pre-K teachers. So as part of our goal to share free resources to families, I am really excited to show you our website. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can get started. All right, so this is the Mississippi Thrive website. And if you go to, all you have to do is type in MississippiThrive.com and you'll go right to our website. And at the very top here, we do have some great resources about being at home during this challenging time with coronavirus. And we've really worked hard to collect a lot of resources that we think will be useful for healthcare providers, as you see at the top, parents and teachers. And we really encourage you to check all of these out. You know, we vetted these and really looked for the ones that we thought would be most useful and are proud of that list. So if you see at the top here of our webpage, we do have information for parents and families, teachers, and healthcare providers. Today, we'll focus mostly on our resources for parents and families, but we do encourage you to check out all of these pages. Then we also have more information on our landing page about our project and about a forum that we recently held where we will have recordings eventually. We had a wonderful Forum for the Future recently, and we'll have recordings from some of the presentations made that day. So check back on that. But let's go ahead and look at the parents and families page. So right at the top, we have a book that we developed, I believe last April, but it was during the time when we were all at home and many of us parents were really struggling about how best to respond to our children and what to do with our children during those, unprecedented times. So we developed this storybook in collaboration with Vroom. And if you click on the book, it will take you right here. It will easily download. And the name of the book is One Day at a Time. And it's the story of a little girl named Hannah and what she does every day with her mom and what they're experiencing during very nerve-wracking times. But the other great thing about this storybook is that it gives you a Vroom tip. And Vroom tips we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute, but Vroom tips are things that can be used to interact with your child. And all of the tips are based on science and information about how young children learn and how to build young children's brains. So for example, there's a part of the story where little Hannah gets very upset. She has a lot of mixed up feelings inside and she has an outburst. And so one of the recommendations and one of the Vroom tips that comes up is to help your child create a calm down kit, or to really think through with your child, well, how can I respond when I get upset? In this case, it's making this calm down kit and putting things in the kit that will help the child when they're feeling stressed, which I know right now all of us are feeling stress, an unusual kind of stress that we haven't felt in years past. But the importance of this, and this is what it talks about in the brainy background here, is that you're helping your child plan for how to handle stress and giving them skills to tackle challenges. So of course, during these time we need that, but also for the future. I mean, children, that's one of the essential life skills that children need to learn, is how to take on challenges and how to handle their stress. So this is a really great storybook for young children, but it also has important information for parents. I wanted to highlight that. So we're back at the parents and families webpage. So if we go down, there's a lot of information here about how important the early years are for brain development. And we have, like I said, with the COVID-19 resource list, really worked hard to only add links to the website from trusted sources and really leaders in the early childhood field, national leaders. So for example, that link that I just clicked on takes you to 0 to 3. 0 to 3 is a trusted resource that has so many pamphlets and links to other information, all kinds of topics on supporting and caring for children 0 to 3. So you see here on early learning, we have all kinds of information on childcare, early literacy, early math and science, but there are just oodles of other resources and great links to information on their website. Then we go down and we see some more information about Vroom. And Vroom, we are partnering with Vroom. And Vroom is a wonderful way of supporting families and having positive back and forth interactions with their children. And there are many different ways to access Vroom. You can get an app on your telephone that will send you a Vroom tip to give a suggestion for something to do, a conversation to have with your child. And all the information is free, and it's all based on the age of your child. So when you first sign up with your either email address or telephone number, it will ask you the age of your child, and then it will send you tips tailored for that age, that child's age and developmental stage. These are some movies here, little very short video clips that talk about brain building basics, and that we all have what it takes to be a brain builder, and how simple it is to work those brain building moments into everyday activities, having a snack, having a meal together, bath time, brushing teeth at the end of the day, things that we're already doing, but how we can take them up a notch and have those brain building moments within the activities that we're already doing with our children every day. The other resource I wanted to highlight is marking milestones. So if we click on this link here, developmental milestones, it takes us to a sheet that was developed by Mississippi Thrive, where we've listed some milestones at ages 9 months all the way up to 5 years. And then also some ways that families and caregivers can support the development of these milestones. So for example, the very first one here, at 9 months, your child may be afraid of strangers and clingy with familiar adults. To encourage development, pay attention to the way your child reacts to new situations and people. Try to do things that make your child happy and comfortable. But so there's tips and information about milestones on this sheet. And another important resource to know about is the CDC Learn the Signs, Act Early website, where they list even more milestones and ways to support the development of those milestones. And so we'll click on those links, and I'll show you some more information in just a minute. But then we have the Building Brains, and this is where you can go to Vroom and access resources and get more information about how to sign up for their app, or to enter your email to get information every day about being a brain builder. If you'd like to kind of check out some of their information before you commit, you can click on For Professionals and just see some of their materials here. Here's tips around math, literacy, problem solving, experience Vroom tips. You can click on that and just get some more information about Vroom and the way it's being used around the country. And one of the activities that we stress for brain building in the early years is talking, reading, and singing with children. And one of our goals is to have more parents and teachers in Mississippi to engage in talking, reading, and singing with young children. So here we have a link to Talk With Me Baby, and they have wonderful resources and ideas for increasing the amount of talking and reading and singing that's going on with young children. Here, another trusted resource that we always recommend is the American Academy of Pediatrics. And this is their healthychildren.org page within the American Academy of Pediatrics, and some tips for helping your child fall in love with reading. This is another wonderful resource where I would really encourage you to explore all of the other sections of this website for some great information. And then positive interaction. This is another key brain building component. And we have a link to another trusted resource, Talking is Teaching. Talking is Teaching has some really useful information on social emotional development in very young children. You know, you don't hear as much about that with children under 3, but this website has some really great flyers and short pamphlets that explain what's going on in those very young brains, and how families and people who care for young children can respond to social emotional needs in young children. And then some more information about talking, reading, and singing, and just a lot of great suggestions for those early interactions. NACCE, of course, the National Association for the Education of Young Children, is a wonderful resource to know about. And like 0 to 3, they're just rich with information and other links and resources for families and teachers caring for young children. So we also have a section that we recommend if you have any concerns about your child's development. So we have a link here, how to talk to your doctor, that is within the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Learn the Signs Act Early campaign that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. And so here you'll see a flyer, one-page flyer that you can print out that gives very useful suggestions for what to do if you have a concern. See your child's healthcare provider. Be sure to have your questions ready, and ask for a screening for your child if you do have a concern. Be ready to talk about what your concerns are. And the other thing I wanted to be sure to show you on this website is if we go to the home page here, and then to Milestones, you will find a list of Milestone checklists. And so it's a great idea and so useful for parents to be able to go through the checklist, especially if you have a concern, and complete the checklist so that you can bring that to your healthcare provider's office and show your healthcare provider, here's what I saw that my child could do. Here's some things that my child isn't doing that the checklist says are typical for children to do at this age. And that's why I brought Johnny here today. I would love to talk with you about this. I have a concern. But if you have the checklist, then you already have, some information there to begin that conversation with your healthcare provider. So I'll just show you a sample one. If we click on this 3 years checklist, you can see on the screen that it gives you information about what most children can do by this age. And it breaks it down by developmental domains of social and emotional, language, cognitive, and movement, physical development. If you would prefer to actually have the checklist to print out, to be able to, use it easily and check it off, you can click here and you'll see the PDF version of the checklist, which you could just print out. So again, it has the same information that was on the website, the web page that we just showed, but it has all of the things that most children do under each domain at this age. And then here it says, you know your child best. So act early and talk to your healthcare provider if your child is missing milestones. And then here it has some age specific information that may be a cause for concern. It may not be, but the recommendation is to just see your child's healthcare provider and check it out, inquire a little bit further. Doesn't play pretend or make believe. And again, this is for a 3-year-old child. So some of this information changes depending on the checklist that you're looking at and the age of the child's checklist. And then the second part of all of these checklists has what you can do for your 3-year-old child. So more suggestions of activities to engage in with your child to support their development. The other great thing about this website that I wanted to point out is, maybe you haven't really seen how this looks before, a certain milestone. So you'll see that for every single milestone, there will either be this little camera icon that if you click on, will show you exactly how it looks. So this one is copies adults and friends. So you see this little girl is climbing, and then this little 3-year-old is about to copy her. So that little boy is meeting that milestone. He is definitely copying his friends and climbing. But that's a nice picture that illustrates that milestone. They also have little movies that show exactly how it looks, each for the milestones where you see the little movie icon. Another website that I just can't recommend enough for all of the rich information here, the milestone checklist, things to click on if you are concerned. There's also special sections for healthcare providers and early childhood educators, home visiting programs. And there is also a training on this website that is a 1-hour training. And if you go through the whole training, it will issue you a CEU certificate at the end after you take a series of quizzes about the information that you've just watched. So then we also, back to our Mississippi Thrive webpage, we have some other resources here that we would definitely encourage you to click on and to find out more information about. Here we've got the Mississippi Parent Training and Information Center. We also have the Mississippi Early Childhood Inclusion Center, My Child Without Limits, Mississippi Families for Kids Help Me Grow program, and they actually have the ASQ screener on their webpage. And here it is. If you click on Help Me Grow, all you have to do is enter the date of birth of your child, whether or not they were premature, and then you hit submit, and it will take you to a developmental screener, the Ages and Stages or ASQ developmental screener, and you can go through and answer the questions and get information about your child's development. So we've developed a series of movies about the importance of the early years and brain building, and that's what's there at the bottom of the page. And then here we do ask you to join our email list. We send out monthly newsletters that are just short, 1 page. As we find resources or information that we think will be helpful, we put them in those newsletters and send them out. So if you give us your email, we would love to connect with you and send you those newsletters every month. And just real quick, I will show you what we have on our teachers page. In case you are a teacher watching today, some of the resources are similar. We talk about early brain development, marking milestones, and have links to some of the similar resources that we have on the parents and families page, and the importance of knowing those milestones. In room, learn the signs, act early. And then we do also have information on the healthcare providers page and the importance of doing those developmental screenings during well child checks and the difference between surveillance and actual screening for healthcare providers. So we hope that you will check that out if you are a healthcare provider watching today. Information about Project ECHO, which is an excellent professional development opportunity for physicians for CEU credit for primary care providers. And then the last thing I wanted to show is the resources page. So here we have so many resources. All of the links that I've shown here are the links to the Milestone Checklists, Vroom, and we also have bookmarks. All of these things can be easily printed out and used. One thing that I wanted to highlight is a UNICEF resource that has really helpful videos for parents. So information about free play, playful activities for children with disabilities, creative ways to learn at mealtime, baby music, and the importance of music for children's development. And then also these mini parenting master classes are something we're using a lot in our actual training with childcare providers. One is this one, Building Babies' Brains Through Play. And Dr. Jack Shonkoff, who is one of the leading experts in early brain development, really talks about how those early back and forth interactions and play are actually building babies' brains. And the other cool thing about that video is it shows those types of interactions between parents and children all over the world. The other interesting one, I mean, I love all of them, but this is another one that we highlight is Baby Talk, mini parenting master classes, and the importance of using those kind of high-pitched sounds with babies and how that helps them to really zero in and pay attention to what the adults are saying, and why Baby Talk is something that a lot of us engage in, but this explains the science behind why we do that and what it does for babies and how important it is to actually brain building and to language development for very young children. So that's another fascinating one to watch. So just so many resources here. I wish I had time to go through all of them, but I do encourage you to please check them out, print out whatever is useful, or be in touch with us if you would like bulk orders of some of these. We do have some printed paper materials that we can share with early child care providers who are working with families. We would love to talk with you about that. And then the very last resource that we're really proud of are our resource maps. So I'll just click here. Let's see. If we go down to the bottom of the page here to Help is Just Around the Corner. Use this map to find child development resources in your area. So these resource maps, we have divided by the type of resource. So we have pediatric clinics, healthcare specialists, licensed child care centers, and family resources. So let's say I'm looking for a provider in my area. I would click on pediatric clinics and then just zoom out. You see Jackson is highlighted, but let's say I live in Starkville. I can zoom out on the map of Mississippi and then drag the state to get closer to my area. I can find Starkville here, click on it, and I see, okay, there's the Starkville Pediatric Clinic. Here's the address, here's the phone number, here's the website. Let me click on the website and it takes me right to it. So we're really excited about this resource, and we hope it will be helpful for families and providers who are looking for resources in their part of the state. But we also know it may not be perfect. So we would really love your comments. If you see something that isn't quite right about a resource that we've listed here, please just click on this link and leave us a comment and let us know so we can make it right and make that correction. And like I said, we have this also for healthcare specialists and child care centers in case you're looking for a child care provider in your part of Mississippi, then you would click on that resource list. So I think those are the main sections of the website. There's much more. So I hope that you all will go and check it out and explore all of the other resources there. And I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. And please do be in touch if you have any questions, or if you are an early child care provider and would like some of the printed resources that we have, let me know. If you're interested in sharing those with your families or posting them in your own child care centers. We have some posters that talk about the importance of those early back and forth interactions that are great reminders to just have in a child care provider's classrooms as they go about their work with young children. So thank you all.
Thank you, Lisa, for joining us today and sharing this wonderful information. Again, I want to let everyone know, if you have any questions, you can go to, you can find Lisa's contact information in the post, as well as the contact information for Mississippi Thrive. All of that will be listed in the post with this video. So again, thank you so much, Lisa, and I can't wait to get on Mississippi Thrive's website and dive right in. So I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.